Hey guys, what's going on? Adam from Exotics. Welcome back to the channel. Now what I have done before we move on is obviously I've recorded a few videos in advance and I'm just going to upload those sporadically. Obviously because you know that I felt bad about not uploading, but you guys are really understanding, so that was awesome. But what I thought I'd do is I spent some time last week just pre-recording some videos, and I'm not sure what video is going to be out on what day, as I have no idea what day this is going to go out, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. So today is going to be a bit of advice, or my advice to newbies into the hobby, into the community, whether that's just reptile breeding, snake breeding, keeping, or the YouTube side of it, or a mixture of both. Before we get on to that, it was sort of spurred on by a couple of questions from some people. I'm not sure they want me to name them, so I won't name them, but you guys know who you are. So first bit of advice really is, if we leave YouTube to the side and we just look at reptile breeding, or in this case ball python breeding or raw python breeding, you know, it's a great thing to do. Number one thing is, you're not going to get rich quick, so get that out of your mind. When you look at some of these breeders online, and on Instagram and on Facebook and YouTube, you know, the Brian Barcheks and the Justin Kabelkas and the Kevin McCurleys of the world, Mark Mandic and people like that, you got to remember is they started this from the beginning, and a lot of them took big risks, big financial risks, big reputation risks, to give us what we've got today. Now everyone after that, you know, especially people joining now, you know this year, last year, certainly in the last 3 or 4 years, it's a different kettle of fish. I mean, everything's been not everything's been done, but the groundwork's been set already. The foundations of the hobby have already been put in place a long time ago. Those people have done very well for themselves, but you've got to remember, guys, is some of these were spending, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 for a single animal back then. You know, today that's obviously crazy money. I don't think any animal would cost that sort of, no matter how crazy the combo. It could be a 10 clown combo, and I still don't think it would cost $100,000, not in today's market. But what I see a lot of people doing is going on YouTube, seeing the Brian Barcheks and you know, the Mark Mandics and the people like that, seeing what they've accumulated, you know, animal wise and money wise, and being able to afford massive facilities and things like that. But just remember, they came into the hobby in a different era. A long time ago. I was a very small child when sort of the ball python boom sort of hit. So just bear that in mind. You're not going to get rich. Far from it. Just do it because you love it. Do it because you enjoy creating life. Do it because you enjoy seeing what you can create. You know, it's living art basically. You know, some people look at it like, you know, they're an artist, and they're putting that and that together to see if they can make that, you know, a blank canvas, and you know, you get to decide what you want to create, which is fantastic, by using what ingredients, and it's just a great thing to be able to do and say you've done. And if you've got, you know, a mutation, a morph, or combo in mind, and you set, you know, you work hard to produce that, i.e. if it's recessive and you go down the het route and you create your own hets and then you grow them up and then you breed them back and then you play the odd game, that's an amazing achievement, an amazing feeling of sort of self, you know, belief and self greatness. And but some people do it different ways. Some people just buy the morph straight away to try and, you know, make as many as possible, make as much money as possible. And yes, if you produce your own ball pythons, you will make money. You will make money, but you've got to be realistic with that sort of number, because I tell you now, guys, any money that I make goes straight back into the collection. It goes on paying for this very new, expensive, fantastic, awesome, by the way, Repti chip. You know, you imagine the electricity bill, you know, is not very kind to me every month or every quarter, whenever we pay it. I can't remember. Things like, you know, the water bowls, and things like new tubs and racks and hides and things like that. It all adds up. It all costs money. So you've got to really know that, you know, if you set a snake for £1,000, you know, that's not normally £1,000 to stick in your pocket and go and spend down the pub. You know, you've got to reinvest some of that money, whether you like it or not, into your collection at some point or the other. I breed my own rodents. Yes, that saves me an incredible amount of money each month, but it also costs money to save money, if that makes sense. Obviously the bedding, the food, the time. A lot of you don't know, the T in TA Exotics is for my beautiful wife Tori, who absolutely is incredible in terms of being supportive of my hobby. She actually takes care of the rats 100%. I might do some water bottles here and there, but she puts the breeding pairs together, she produces them, she tells me which ones I can have, which ones I can't. She is a godsend, and without her, TA Exotics wouldn't be TA Exotics, it would just be A Exotics, which is a bit weird. But you get what I'm saying, guys. You know, you gotta, the money you make, you have to put it back into your hobby, otherwise your hobby's going to fail. And one thing my wife said to me when I started doing this is, I don't care what you buy, don't care how much the snake costs or how much a rat costs or this, that and the other, as long as you use your own money that you generated through the sale of your babies, she doesn't care. As long as I'm not taking from the family fund, as we call it, to fund any part of this hobby, then I've got free rein to do whatever I want. Sometimes if you've got a small collection, you know, 5 animals or less, you're not really going to make, unless they're outstanding quality combos and high-end this, high-end that, but in general you're not going to make, you know, enough money to reimburse it straight away. So, you know, your predicament might be different. You might have to borrow from your family fund to buy a certain snake or a certain bit of equipment or this, that and the other. So bear that in mind as well. It's not all money, money, money. Really, money should be the last thing on your mind when you're working with animals. Let's not forget, you know, they're living creatures. And it's our goal, whenever we put any animal into captivity, whether it be a bird, a fish, a snake, a rabbit, or whatever it is, we're taking full 100% responsibility to give that animal everything that it needs. You know, it relies on us for everything, for its heating, for its water, for its food, any interaction that a certain animal might need. What sort of housing are you going to use? Are you going to go with racks like they are behind me? Are you going to go with vivariums? You're going to go with... There's so many different variations, and I'm a massive rack fan. I love racks. One, because yes, it allows you to keep a multiple amount of animals in one small area, but two, the snakes have got, or my snakes in particular, I've got 33 litres, I've got V70s, I've got V35s, V18s, I've got a various selection of size tubs for various size animals, and I think, and my animals get held, not daily, but every snake is out probably twice a week at some point. The kids come in here a lot and ask to hold them, and while I'm cleaning or while I'm doing something, they'll be sitting on, in fact the stool that I'm sitting on now, and they'll just sit there and hold them. They get a lot of interaction. Whether they need it or not, that's a different story. But what I'm saying is if you're going to go down the route of racks, don't let people tell you that it's cruel. Don't let people tell you that it's wrong. You know, it's funny because one person told me that I was cruel, that I was out of order, that I was evil because I kept snakes in boxes, and then found out that this guy had a budgie in a cage, and I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, you know, you're putting an animal with wings, you know, an animal that flies great distances, and you're comparing it to an animal that the specific species spends a lot of time underground. Yes, they will come out. Yes, they will, you know, venture, but majority of their lives are spent you know, in cramped conditions, in termite mounds and tree hollows and tree stumps and things like that. So it was quite funny that he came at me and he had a budgie in a cage. Anyway, sort of moving on from the point I'm trying to make is, you know, decide what enclosure you want to go with, what suits your housing, your house, your room that you've got to spare it, and just be happy with it and confident in your decision. If you want vivariums and you've got space for vivariums, then absolutely go for that. I saw one guy show me some pictures of some bioactive vivs with rules in it, with ball pythons in, and it looks absolutely amazing. And if I had the space, I'd probably do the same. Not for everyone, but certainly for a few, especially some of the few bigger animals, I was definitely putting a bioactive setup. I think that'll look amazing. But just be confident in what you want to do in terms of housing. So guys, I just mentioned earlier about obviously feeding. Now, one of the most important things about keeping animals is feeding them. Believe it or not, it's a big part of keeping animals. The best thing about these for me is you don't need to feed them every day like a dog, or twice a day like a dog. They can be fed, you know, once a week, once every 10 days depending on the size, once every 2 weeks depending on the size. So the perfect animal, if you want to go on holiday and you've only got a few, you can just fill that water bottle up to the top and you can go away for a few days and not have to worry about those animals. Yes, it'd be beneficial. When I go away, I do have someone come in and they do check that the heating's still on. You know, I've had no power cuts, there's no escapees, and you know the waters are topped up and there's no poop in them, and etc. But if you're only going away for a few days, you don't have to really have anyone look at them. As long as their water bottles are filled up, it's great in that respect. So the sort of perfect animal for someone who hasn't got or can't dedicate, you know, 10 hours a day on them, if that makes sense. You haven't got to walk them, you haven't got to interact with them, as in throwing a ball and playing fetch and things like that. It's crazy, but it's true. But going back onto the food, obviously you need to feed them. I feed mine once a week. Regardless of size, just an appropriate sized meal. Like I said before, I breed my own rodents, so it's a lot easier for me just to nip into the shed. I do use gas to euthanize mine, so that I use pre-killed food. I'll only use frozen forward if I run out, or I'll offer, which is great. This is what's great about sort of pre-killing, is I can offer it pre-killed, you know, 10 seconds after it's passed away. If it doesn't then take it, I can then put it in the freezer and use it as a frozen forward later on down the road. If you buy frozen forward first and you defrost it and you offer it and it doesn't take, and you've got no other animals that will take it, or if all your other animals are fed, what goes on with that rat? What do you do with it? A lot of people, and I used to be guilty of it as well, would just throw it over the fence for the foxes. What else can you do, sort of thing? I mean, I used to put them in bags and put them, double bag them, triple bag them, and then take them to the dump. But then while they're outside waiting, foxes would come and smell it anyway, so I found that an easier thing to do. But that's not obviously ideal. Bad at them for doing that, I know. But that's the reality of keeping animals, guys. You've got to sort of, if an animal's not going to eat that rodent, what are you going to do with it? If you've got nothing else that will eat it, some animals will take 2 feeds, but like I said to you, I feed mine appropriately sized meals, and feeding them 2 appropriately sized meals, they just won't take it. You know, I don't want to power feed them either. So bear that in mind, guys, because it can cost you a lot of money. Even if you've only got a few animals, it can still, the bill can still mount up over the month, and especially over the year. So obviously feeding is a massive thing as well. So guys, I'm not going to go into, you know, breeding the ball pythons, because that's a whole complete different topic. But so we've covered, you know, housing and feeding, which is obviously the main sort of things that if you're a new person getting into the hobby that you're going to care most about. Hopefully by now you've done your research. Some people buy the animal first and then do the research. I've been guilty of that in the past. But whatever stage you do it, do your research. There's hundreds and thousands of videos on YouTube right here. There's countless books, there's articles online. Mark Mandic, he's got a fantastic website, his webpage, all about, you know, the breeding, and you know, everything to do with breeding, from the copulation to egg laying to ovulations to everything. It's all on there, so it's a fantastic read. So go and check out, you know, Marcus Jane Reptiles. or marcusjane.com. I'll try and put the link down below. So yeah, do your research. You can never do enough research. Even now, I will still Google something off a whim and go, oh right, okay, I better go. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I learn every day. So you guys will learn every day as well. And sometimes when people ask me questions, if it takes me, more than an hour to get back to you, it's probably because I'm thinking, I don't actually know the answer to that. There we go. And then I learn every day as well. So you will never stop learning. If someone tells you that they know everything and there's nothing they need to learn, they are full of even the big boys, even the Justins, even the Bryans, even the Aussies, they will all be learning every day about something, whether it's genetics, whether it's combo this, combo that. Everything is a learning curve. They will always learn something, so don't feel embarrassed. There's a great saying in this community: no question is a stupid question, or no question is a dumb question. And it's very much true, because people will be in this hobby at different levels and with different experiences and different knowledge, and what I might think is a simple answer to you, who I'm addressing this to, because I'm addressing this to new people that have just entering, are starting to enter, or have only been in there for maybe a year or so, maybe coming up to their first breeding season. So that's who I'm aiming this channel at. And your knowledge will probably be very low compared to a lot of people, but there's probably going to be things that that I don't know, because you've read a certain section of an article, or you've done this, you've done that, and I've missed it. It happens. So no question is a stupid question. And if you ask anyone who you think is an experienced breeder, and they come at you with a stupid answer because you've asked a stupid question, forget that breeder. Don't care who they are, don't care if they're the biggest person in the UK, biggest person in the world. They're utter arseholes, basically. Find yourself someone that was willing to help you. Find yourself someone that is willing to share their knowledge with you, because like I said, this is a massive community, and it's ever growing. Every day people are coming into it. I think more people are coming into it than there are people leaving it, because there is a small amount of people leaving it every so often, but so many people are joining the hobby, which is fantastic. We want it to grow, because if anything, in my eyes, if there's any legislations that come out in the UK regarding reptile keeping, then I want this community to be absolutely massive, so we can fight any silly decisions government might make, like they did in Spain. I believe that the ball pythons were banned in Spain. I don't know if they still are, but we need this community to be absolutely massive, so everyone's welcome. No questions stupid. Ask away. If you don't want to ask me, there's loads of people I can direct you to. Gavin Balls to You is a fantastic person for education, as is Paul Milner over at Urban Constrictors. Darren and Eric from Neighbours Constrictors, fantastic. Loads of people will be only too happy to share their experiences and help you out, because that's, we're a family. That's what families do. Yes, we'll fight. Yes, we'll argue. Yes, we'll disagree. But we're a collective community that cares about one thing, and that's these beautiful animals. So guys, we'll quickly touch on the YouTube side of sort of the game, if you like. Now, I've seen a lot of people jump on YouTube and think it's a quick way to make a buck or two, or a pound or two, excuse my terminology if you're from the UK. And I can tell you now, it's really not like that. Yes, I am now monetized. My channel is monetized thanks to the support from you guys, but I can tell you it's not really worth it money wise. Is not when my channel is this small. If I had 20,000 subscribers and 10,000 views a video, yeah, happy days, but it's not like that. It's never going to be like that. I can aspire and dream for it to be like that, but I live in the real world. I know how it works. But listen, if you want to join YouTube and share your passion and share your experiences and sort of log your accomplishments and your failures and this, that and the other, so others can learn, fantastic. Welcome to YouTube. You guys are so very much welcome. I've actually had a few people come to me that are brand new YouTubers, whether they've been keeping animals a longer time or not, but bringing their animals to YouTube they're completely new at. And they're asking me, why is it so hard to get subscribers, to get views? And the simple answer is, it's a dog eat dog world. this old YouTube malarkey. There's so many people doing YouTube, and there's, you know, each sort of creator will have, or YouTuber will have, you know, their set audience, and it's very hard to get. For example, me, I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTubers, a lot of reptile YouTubers, and I don't get to watch all their videos because I just don't have time to watch them all and do my own videos and my own family life and my own craziness. So even people with, you know, a nice number of subscribers, it's very hard to get subscribers. People ask me, you know, can you give me any tips to get more subscribers? Be yourself, have fun. If you're having fun, people are going to have fun with you. Try and bring good content. It's very hard in this game to bring content that no one's seen yet, because like I said, there's so many people doing it. You might, this topic I'm talking about now, someone might upload tomorrow, or someone might have uploaded yesterday. You're never going to know. Just try and be original as you can. Be yourself. Have fun with it. Interact with your audience. I do a lot of giveaways, as you guys know. And that will always draw in a few subscribers, as it's not the be all and end all doing giveaways. Some people can do giveaways, some people don't. Some people can do snake giveaways, some people can just do merch giveaways or equipment. Whatever you can do. Stickers, you know, t-shirts, posters, anything like that. It doesn't have to be at a huge cost to you. It's just people will engage with your channel. People will put your name out there and say, hey, so and so is doing a giveaway, you can win this. Go and subscribe to his channel, and that's what it's all about. You know, there's no point in me saying here I do giveaways. When I do the subscriber giveaways, because you know I've done a few giveaways where I don't ask for subscribers, like the I'm sorry giveaway and things like that. But when it is a subscriber giveaway, I'll always tell you it's a subscriber giveaway. I'll tell you what number I want to get to before we pick a winner, and so on and so forth. As long as you're honest with your audience, as long as you're transparent, people will come to your channel, people will subscribe, people will interact with you, people will come to you and ask you questions, and from where I was a year ago to what I am now, it's amazing. I feel like I'm a very small but a very firm part of this community, especially in the UK. Yes, there's loads of people that are more regarded than me. I understand that, and I completely agree with that. But I'm happy being where I am. I get, you know, people asking me questions and coming to me for advice, which makes me feel absolutely humble. It's an amazing feeling, little old me being asked these questions when they can go to someone else with more experience or a bigger name on YouTube. It's amazing. So stay patient is what I'm trying to say. Like I said, be honest, be transparent, have fun with it, and the subscribers will come. So guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. Like I said, I don't even know what day it is that I'm going to upload this video, but whenever I do, I hope you're having a great day. Next video, hopefully I'm going to try and get one of these collaborations done. I'm just trying to get the people a little poke, just to remind them, they're very busy people. Like I said, I'm bringing you some collaborations with some very high-end people in the industry. So it might take a little bit longer, because obviously they're a lot more busier, but trust me, once they do and they come through, it will be so much worth it. You're not going to want to miss that. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Thank you for being so patient and listening to me ramble on. Leave a comment if you don't mind, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and ting that notification bell so you don't get to miss a future upload. So until then guys, have a fantastic day, whatever day it might be. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you very soon.